We used to think of a trip to Las Vegas as the ultimate bargain vacation. You could book a 5-night stay for $100, eat like royalty at endless buffets, and catch world-class entertainment for pennies. Today, you'll pay $30 a day just to park your car, and when you finally step out into the 100-degree desert heat, a bottle of water is going to cost you $14. This shift in Las Vegas isn't some organic change in travel trends. It's a calculated blueprint, and corporate overlords are preparing to execute this same model in cities all over the world. To understand how this works, we have to rewind to the 1990s. Billionaire Steve Wynn saw an opportunity to rebrand the city. He wanted to strip away the grimy, criminal underworld reputation and build glamorous, massive mega-resorts designed specifically as an adult Disneyland for the middle class. The engine that made this era so magical was extreme, cutthroat economics. Dozens of independently run casinos and hotels were packed shoulder to shoulder, fighting desperately to get you through their doors. Because they had to earn your loyalty, they gave you incredible deals. You could stretch $40 into hours of $1 blackjack with free drinks to boot. Casinos handed out coupon books packed with free show tickets, 2-for-1 fajitas, and 99-cent margaritas. When businesses are forced into fierce competition to survive, the customer actually wins. They had to offer you genuine value, or you would simply walk next door. By the early 2000s, that era was intentionally dismantled. Massive corporations began buying up independent operations, and iconic, visually stunning older hotels were systematically reduced to rubble. A working map of the Strip today reveals something concerning. What looks like 30 competing hotels is actually a duopoly. 2 mega-corporations, MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment, quietly swallowed almost the entire Strip. With the competition gone, deceptive pricing took over. You might see a room advertised online for $29 a night, but then they sneak in a mandatory $35 resort fee, a charge for basic amenities like internet that costs more than the room itself, plus layers of room taxes stacked on top. These monopolies even track your movement to ensure you never leave their ecosystem by building custom smartphone apps that use your GPS signal to push exclusive deals for competing restaurants that actually funnel money back to the exact same parent company. The final step was eliminating the human element. The friendly front desk clerks giving you recommendations were fired and replaced by self-check-in kiosks. The result is tourists waiting 3 to 4 hours in line to interact with a screen, unless, of course, you pay their brand new $50 early check-in fee to skip the chaos they created. When a mega corporation owns the entire block, they don't need to compete for your loyalty. They build giant, beautiful mazes engineered to extract as much of your money as possible while making you miserable in the process. Even the massive $2.3 billion MSG Sphere reflects this new corporate logic, prioritizing a luxury spectacle over a functional experience. The project lost $500 million in its first year, struggling to book artists who can actually sell 18,000 tickets a night for a residency. For the people who do pay the astronomical ticket prices, the experience is often incredibly poor. Entire sections of premium seating have completely obstructed views of the massive screen, and die-hard music fans frequently report that the audio quality is horrible. Outside, it forces its presence on the entire city. The blinding LED screens pierce right through the blackout curtains of nearby hotels, while drivers on the highway are constantly distracted by glowing advertisements, creating a massive safety hazard. It is a visually stunning, incredibly sterile structure built entirely for the ultra-wealthy, and it actively degrades the environment for everyone else who lives or travels nearby. This intense focus on high rollers is physically hollowing out the rest of the city. Beloved, budget-friendly spots like the Ocean One Bar and Grill, famous for its $5 meals, are permanently closing their doors. Average families simply cannot afford to exist here anymore. The few legacy resorts that still attempt to offer budget amenities have been left to rot. The once grand Egyptian themes are now packed with cheap, stained furniture and reek of old cigarette smoke. The famous pirate shows and fair games are either empty or entirely paved over for retail space. And this rot extends far past the Strip. The city is rapidly throwing up soulless, carbon copy tract homes on tiny lots, slapping a $2 million price tag on them and selling them to buyers who quickly discover massive plumbing and structural failures. Appealing to the middle class is no longer a viable business model for a publicly traded monopoly. The system is now recalibrated to cater exclusively to big spenders, discarding everyone else. But you don't have to visit the Nevada desert to feel the impact of this shift. Las Vegas is just patient zero for much larger global strategy. We see the exact same automated extraction in our grocery stores, where human cashiers are replaced by broken self-checkout lines, while the price of everyday goods continues to rise. We see the hidden resort fee strategy every time an airline tacks on a massive charge for a carry-on bag, or a food delivery app stacks service fees on top of cold food. You are paying more money for an experience that keeps getting worse. Corporate leadership across the world has arrived at the exact same chilling realization. As long as we keep swiping our cards, there is zero financial incentive to improve the product, staff the stores, or treat customers with respect. We are watching our daily lives adopt the same luxury-first logic found in Dubai. The only way to break this cycle is for the average person to stop funding these monopolies. The extractive, hyper-expensive models perfected in the Nevada desert are already being exported. Las Vegas is a preview of the future coming to your doorstep.